Hello fellow colorists, welcome to the channel J.I. Colorist. My name is Jody, and today's video we're going to be doing the Color Your Seasons tag, and it's going to be for spring. This is the first time I'm doing this tag. This tag is credited to YouTube channels Amanda Colors and Disney Meg's Coloring. They are two friends that I've met through YouTube, and I thought that I would start their tag, but I wanted to wait until spring, so the start of the year, because I thought I would do all 4 seasons in order. So I've waited until April because spring in Canada, here in Alberta specifically, comes quite late. In fact, as I'm looking out my window right now, I have both dead grass on my lawn and a snowdrift along the tree edge. So March is a very wintry month still for us. So although lots of people are celebrating spring in March, spring really doesn't come here until April or May, and it's a very short season. So I have written in my creative companion the questions here and jotted down a little start to my answer so that I don't ramble on too much. And instead of tagging another channel, because this tag has been out for quite a while, I will tag each of you, my fellow colorists, to comment below one answer to any of the questions that are in the description. So I'm going through 10 questions. Pick any question that you'd like and comment below your answer, and it'll be a little bit of a get to know each other in the coloring community here on my channel. So that's the plan for today. We are going to be doing Color Your Seasons tag for spring 2023. I'm going to show you some pictures and a few other things as part of my answer. I do have Fragile World in front of me, which I am just starting a page, my first page, and I'm doing a buddy color with a lovely person from the United Kingdom, and we are doing this page here. So I'm still gathering my thoughts and my color scheme together, so you may see me work a little bit on that. And it's kind of reminded me of spring too, because the bugs are starting to come back as well as the birds. So the first question, we'll just start right in, is a favorite thing to color in spring. And spring to me is, like I said, really for me it starts in like late March, like St. Patrick's Day. I think I start thinking about spring because of the bright green colors, and then we go into Easter, which is my favorite probably season in spring, and it just passed. And so I like to color things like Easter eggs, flowers, baby animals, 4-leaf clovers, that kind of stuff. So I think this page that I did from Rita Berman, so you're getting a bit of a sneak peek, is really what spring to me kind of is all about. So we've got, you know, the flowers and the insects are coming back. Daffodils are always the first flowers to kind of bloom out here in Canada. We also have purple crocuses, and I did a bunny page from Botanicum, and it'll be coming up this month as well. And it has some lovely crocuses on it. And to me, the crocus, I live in the country, so if we start seeing crocuses, tulips, and daffodils, spring is here. Nature knows best. So those are the kinds of things that I like to color. Little baby animals, of course. Those remind me of spring. Number 2 is favorite colors to use on spring coloring page, and I like to use light green, pastels, yellows, colors of, you know, new birth, new growth, so that, you know, reminds me of the pastel colors. So, you know, like I would use a light green here for new growth, and light purples, light colors, light blue. Even the bunny is not a dark brown because he's just changed. We've got a lot of rabbits, as you know, on my property, and right now they're kind of patchworked color. They are brown and white, as the coats are changing from their winter coats to their summer coats. So they're kind of a dirty looking rabbit at the moment. And if I can get a picture of one on the in the next day, I'll insert that picture here for you. Question 3 is favorite spring scent. And my favorite spring scent will be tulips and daffodils. They just bright sunny flowers. Their scent is very light. I do have some breathing issues, obviously, so I don't want a lot of heavily scented perfumes or flowers, but I find that the tulips and daffodils are just light enough that they're okay for me to have around and scent up my house. I'm gonna just start picking some colors for this bee as we're doing this. So I'm using some polychromos pencils. This guy's getting pretty tiny, so I do have backups, so that's okay. So I've got a reference photo off the internet of a bunch of these type of birds. It is a rusty patched bumblebee, and it's an endangered bumblebee, so I'll use that as a reference. And so I've got the Naples yellow is the one I decided to use, so we'll start there. This is my first page in Fragile World by Kirby. I don't have any of his other books, so this is my first Kirby page, and wish me luck. Okay, number 4 is favorite spring decor. Well, I'm not sure if you remember from my Get to Know Me video, but I mentioned that I collect eggs. So my favorite spring decor obviously would be eggs, and this is a new egg that I got for my birthday from my daughter-in-law. So she gave me 2 of these eggs, and they're porcelain and they have lace wrapped around them. And yeah, so I would like to display a few of my eggs during the spring and Easter season and add to my collection. So I hadn't added a new egg for quite a while, so that was a nice surprise for my birthday. So yeah, so I decorate with eggs and of course the flowers that I mentioned, the tulips and the Easter lilies once in a while. So that's that answer. Number 5, favorite spring food. So spring food, you know, it's still, like I said, here in Canada, it's still quite cold. So there isn't like, you know, we're not busting out the barbecue and doing all that. Obviously during Lent, we eat quite a bit of fish on Fridays. So we've been getting kind of creative with our fish lately. But food in general, like a snack type food, I would say I like Peeps. And yes, this is the marshmallow goodness type of Peep. This year I actually had a blue Peep, a package of blue Peeps. Then I had a package of sour watermelon Peeps, and they were in the shape of little duckies, and those were quite interesting. And so what I do with the Peeps is they're quite squishy. So this is a new pack. I open it up and I take the Peep out and I leave it out like overnight just to get a little bit hard, because they're a little bit too squishy right now in the total marshmallow. I like them to be a little bit chewy, so that's how I eat my Peeps. And nobody else in my family likes Peeps, so they are definitely in the house strictly because I've purchased them or been gifted them to eat on my own. And it's just a silly little indulgence, and it only happens in the spring during Easter, and I don't eat them any other time of the year. But yeah, I like my Peeps. So when I saw that question, I'm like, oh, I'll have to talk about my peeps. I saw this year at the grocery store at Albertsons, they actually had peep cereal. Oh, and there goes a bunny running across my lawn. Oh, there goes another bunny. Oh my goodness. Maybe I can film this. Hang on. See him out the window? He's still white on the bottom and he's brown on top. They're going brown quite quickly. Well, that was a little bit of bunny excitement for you. I hope you were able to see him on the short video. If I see them again, well, I know I will see them again, but I will try and get some closer up footage perhaps. And there's never a surprise to me when I look out my window and see nature and what's happening. And bunnies are also a huge reminder that it's spring when I see their coats changing color. So thank you for indulging me on that. I also saw my first robin yesterday as I was leaving, driving away. And yeah, so the birds are coming back. There's also a bunch of small birds right now. They're little tiny ones, so I'm not exactly sure what they are. They look like some type of maybe little chickadee or something. But yeah, I saw the first robin. So spring move, you know, the seasons keep moving no matter what's going on in our lives. So that's actually kind of comforting. There's a time for everything. Okay, so number 6 is your favorite spring activity. Well, I like actually, and I did this yesterday with my dogs, and I took my dogs last week when I went to visit my mom in small town Alberta, and I like to go for a walk. I pretty much am stuck inside all winter. It's hard to be outside for very long with a oxygen cannula. They tend to freeze up and get quite stiff, and then they will actually crack. So I don't spend a lot of time outside in the winter, but it's spring now, and I do like to get out and take my dogs for a walk, see how what's happening under the snow. So yesterday I actually walked around my property and looked at the trees and some damage, and I knew we had a lot of deer over the past winter and some moose in our property, but holy moly, the amount of deer and moose poop and bunny poop in my yard is absolutely incredible. We've never had this many animals, so it's nice that they're using our property as a habitat, but I was just surprised. So yeah, so just checked out how the trees were doing. Some of them have a little bit of branches broken off that I'll have to deal with. There was quite a heavy snowfall not too long ago, and it just stayed. So I think between that and the moose brushing against the trees and munching on the branches, we have a few branches to fix, but that's all part of living on an acreage, and I enjoy getting out and reconnecting, I guess, to the outside, because I do stay indoors quite a bit. Walking my dogs, checking out the property, that's kind of my favorite spring activity. Starting to plant a few seeds. My son is planting some seeds in the basement right now for getting some tomatoes and some pumpkins going. So yeah, it's nice. Okay, I think I'm going to change colors from yellow. I'm going to start getting out some darker colors. I'm not going to go black right now. I'm going to go maybe like a Payne's gray or something, or a dark gray, a cold gray, for the black, because I want to be able to add more color to it. And if I start with black, then it's pretty hard to add any color on top. So let me grab a pencil and line up the next question. Number 6 was my favorite spring activity. So walking, looking for new flowers. I'm always on the hunt, and while I'm out looking I'm looking for the first crocus of the year. And unfortunately on our property we don't have any. But where I was in smaller Alberta, they do have in the fields. So looking for crocuses as I'm walking, and here looking for tulip bulbs that are coming up, or the first signs of spring. So the willows are turning red, and yeah, that kind of thing. So number 7 is the coloring book you feel best embodies spring. So what I'm going to do is bring out a new book that I got this over the winter, and it's Rita Berman's Seasons compilation. So it's her walk through the seasons, and I've really enjoyed, she's got all the seasons in here, so I find it's a great book for the whole year. I had done some winter pictures in it, but I've certainly done some spring. So I've got some April showers type pictures. This is rubber boots. I'm wearing a lot of rubber boots right now outside because it's not raining here per se, but we've had quite a bit of snow, and it's melting, and it's kind of muddy out, and I've had to wash my dogs already a couple of times. So that's definitely spring when you've got your rubber boots out, and you're actually hoping that it rains instead of snow. So that's kind of, and then the other page kind of reminded me of spring is this page, because this is kind of me. I'm wearing, your rubber boots or your hiking boots. We're not into flip-flops on the acreage here. There's too many things outside you don't want to step in. So I'm more of a boot person, and we've got some flowers, and yeah, I just thought that this kind of reminded me of spring, so I had colored them a kind of a fun summer spring color as well. And so this book so far, it's got lots of different, it's obviously for the seasons, but there's just a lot of spring pages. We got flowers and the cherry blossoms and the birds coming out and the pussy willows, and yeah, this. So I would recommend, if you don't want to get all four different of Rita's books for her difference, because she's got a spring and a summer and a fall and a winter book, then pick up the compilation book, and then you kind of get all of them in one, and it's not every single page from the other books, but it's the majority of them. So yeah, so this would be the book that I kind of envision with spring. Also, Maria Trollet's books, the Botanicum. There's quite a few spring-like pages in it that I have gone through, and so she has lots of flowers and birds and nature scenes, and that's kind of what I envision spring is about. So those are my recommendations. Number 8, do you have any spring traditions? So spring traditions, to me, spring is St. Patrick's Day, spring is Easter. So there's obviously the whole religious part of Easter. There's also the fun part of Easter, which is decorating eggs. So that's something that I like to do every year, and I will put in a picture here of this year's egg decorating. I do it at my mom's house with my sister this year. Sometimes we have a crowd, sometimes we just have a few people. So we didn't do anything fancy this year. We just had a low-key fun time decorating some eggs and visiting with each other. So that's this picture here. The other traditions that we have a lot of snowstorms still in spring here. So we always kind of, the big spring snowstorm and digging out from that, that's kind of a tradition. We don't like it, we don't look forward to it, but it happens, and we make fun out of that. So those are also kind of traditions. And it's also my birthday. So I just had a birthday, April 11th. So that was fun. And so yeah, I look forward to all of those things like anybody would. So I've decided to use Cold Gray 5. And I'm just going to start blocking in some of this dark area. So number 9 is, do you go on a spring vacation? So when I think spring vacation, I think March. And March is actually the highest snowfall month of the year here. And so yes, if I can get away in the month of March and avoid numerous feet of snow coming down, then I do try and do that. And I used to, well, I'm just in the process right now of selling my vacation home in the United States. So I actually spent the month this year of March there getting it ready for sale and kind of saying goodbye to the property. And so yeah, it was a hard month, but something that has to be done. Things move on. So yeah, I will continue to try and get away in the month of March when I can. And I don't get away for any other reason than I need a break from the cold. We have a very long winter here, and I just need a break from the cold. And sometimes we would take family vacations, and with my son and husband. We didn't take vacations as kids in the winter because obviously we all had school, and with 6 kids, it's not a tropical vacation is in sight when you have that many kids to be ferrying around. But as an adult, I certainly have tried to avoid some of the bad weather. I'm not covering all of him right now. I'm just gonna kind of get the main areas kind of color blocked, and then I'm going to do some of the other little bees. And I was playing back the video and I accidentally called this guy a bird, and I did not. I do know it's a bee, so I will make a correction on screen for that error. Okay, we're getting close to the end of the questions here. Number 10 is, do you have a favorite spring memory? So I would have to say one of my favorite memories is from Easter's, both as a child and then as I was a young parent. So I have a son. So when he was younger, I did this for him as well. But when I was young, my parents for Easter would make it an Easter treasure hunt. And so they would hide our gift. And our gift was always clothes. So we didn't have a lot of chocolate or stuff as kids, but we used to get an Easter outfit. So everyone would get some clothes at Easter. And we would go on a treasure hunt to find them. So we had clues that we had to find, and you would figure out the first clue, and you would go to that spot, and there would be another clue, and then you would find that clue, and you would continue on, and then at the end of it, you would find the treasure, and that was your new set of clothes. So that was fun. I really enjoyed that. It was got us all working together as kids to figure out, you know, where it could be. So yeah, so that's a good memory I have from childhood. And I remember one year that the final destination of where everything was in the deep freeze. So I thought that was a fabulous location because as kids, we're not checking out the deep freeze on a regular basis unless we're stealing Christmas cookies. So I thought that was a good spot to hide things, and yeah, good memories from kids. And for when I had my, we have Alex, our son, we would hide things. When he was younger, we would just hide them, you know, little eggs, and he would find them, and then we would actually hide them again because he just had fun going around and looking for them. And quite frankly, we hid them in the same spots, and it still took him quite a while to find them, but he was quite young at that age, and it was just lots of fun. And then later we did the treasure hunts, and yeah, so just fun times getting together with family and doing funny little things like that. And that is the final question. I hope you have enjoyed coming along. I do really like this page here that I did. And I did this during Easter at my mom's house, so I think that also kind of meant something special to me. So it's kind of my whole vision of spring. You got the insects coming back to life, you've got the daffodils, and you've got some Easter eggs, and you've got the little bird coming. So and no snow. No snow on this page. So I hope everybody is having a great spring wherever you are and whatever season you're in. I hope you're doing something colorful and creative, and I thank you for spending some time with me today. I know there's lots of things you could be doing, so thank you for spending some time listening to me ramble about my spring experiences. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.